Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience with Aaron and Dave, and on the Zoom call, all the way from San Antonio, Texas, one of my favorite places in the world. San Antonio, Texas, is Jaron from Stop the Sun. There's the live studio audience for you, Jaron. Got to make you feel at home.
How you like a rock star? Doing good.
You are a rock star, man.
How'd
what are
you know?
Talking about? Hey, you're in a band called Stop the Sun, and well, I'll start with the pedestrian stuff, the typical interview questions to begin with, just to get a little basis. How about that? How long you guys been doing Stop the Sun?
I've been doing it for quite a few years. I would say 4 years now. The new lineup we've had, just been in the past year. I had another guy with me. We lost a member, and that was 2 years back. So,
okay.
The full band that we've had has been about a year now.
Okay, but Stop the Sun's been in action for how long?
Yeah, before that, I've actually been writing these songs that we use for Stop the Sun, and I was doing that on my own under my name since 2012, and did showcases with that, and I've just been carrying that through. We just picked up the band name as we got a band.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so where does the band name come from? Because that's an interesting name.
That's actually from the Bible, from Joshua 10, when they were out in the battle and they felt the armies pressing in around them and they were worried. So they cried out to God and asked for his help, and he stopped the sun in the sky so that they can win the battle. And it was just kind of
I don't know that one. I don't know that one. And that's cool. I like that. Aaron, did you know that one?
No. But
see, Aaron's the Bible scholar.
Yeah.
He went to Bible school. I didn't go to Bible school.
Yeah, I'm deep in theology. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I know a lot of Bible stuff. I did go to Bible high school and junior high, but Aaron went one further and went to Bible college. So he's our Bible scholar.
So did you think of the name, or that was okay?
There was a toss up because actually the guy that was in the band with me at the time, his name was Brad. He was playing the bass for us, and we were going back and forth. And of course, I like to do these feelers. Hey, Brad. Hey, what does God do whenever we're going through something? What does he do for us? And so he's kind of a Bible scholar, and I thought he would say, "Oh, Stop the Sun," because we've been in the Word together a bit, and he was it was a toss up between, he wanted another name for the band. And so we actually put out on Facebook, whoever won the poll on that one got the name, and I won the poll by a landslide. I promise I didn't.
Did you like a Rochambeau for it, or rock, paper, scissors?
We just put the two names out there and said, what do y'all guys like? And I got the wins on those. He said it wasn't fair because my family voted.
Well, I was just going to ask that. So your family's bigger than his, I guess.
I just realized, Aaron, I got my Metallica shirt on.
Oh, that's all right.
I usually try to dress a little nicer, but this morning was super busy and I threw on my Metallica shirt.
That's okay.
I apologize if anybody's
I almost
offended.
gave myself away. I had a shirt from a bar I like to go to on, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't wear that thing.
Now, speaking of that, you're playing tonight in a show, and I appreciate you coming on show day.
He's a very busy man, Aaron.
Yes, he is. He's a rock star.
He is.
Yeah. And so is that a club that you're playing at tonight?
So
yeah, tell us about the show tonight.
Playing at a bar. It's going to be in Seguin, Texas. What we're actually doing is a friend who was living with my drummer and my bassist, their husband and wife. He passed away a couple months ago, and so we're actually doing a memorial for him.
I was going to ask you about that because I saw it on Facebook. Tell me a little about that, because his name, I don't know the guy, but his name keeps popping up through people that I know, and I've seen all this stuff that he passed away like back in May or something, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I was actually probably why you heard him. He was playing in multiple bands in Seguin. One of them was called Pagan.
Okay.
They're actually going to be at that show. Another band he was in was actually my drummer's band. My drummer and his wife were in a band called Godspell. and they used to play around there for a while. Other than that, I don't know how much involved he was in music. I just know that he was an excellent guitar player, and I'd seen him around my friend's house for so long. I just never got to know Pat myself very well.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I don't know the guy at all, but I don't know, March or April, I was contacted by a band that was interested in coming on, and we were going to set it up. Oh, there goes our feedback again. That's really weird because you're muted.
Yes.
That's odd. Anyhow, I got to let the cat out. Cat's pawing at the door. There I go, letting the cat out. Anyhow, they were going to come on, and then he sent me the announcement that this guy had passed, and I'd never heard from him since. So I don't even remember the name of the band now, but
yeah, Saving Jackie's going to be there tonight too, I do believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, well, tell Jen from Aaron and Dave. No, seriously, this is all seriousness. Tell Jen from Aaron and Dave, happy birthday. Today is Jen's birthday.
Oh man.
Yep.
So
we're going to make sure she feels special tonight as well.
Yeah, tell her we said happy birthday.
All right.
All right. So getting out to the bars, Jesus just didn't preach to the churches, right, Aaron?
That's right.
He got out in the world.
I think it's so cool that bands, I realize some bands may not want to play in bars, but I think it's so cool when Christian bands go into clubs and bars and play and just see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's, well, I mean, church has its place. Fellowship has its place. And I really don't like Christianese. I don't usually like to use the word fellowship, but church and fellowship has its place. Don't get me wrong. But if you're going to get the word out, going to church and preaching at church is not how you get the word out.
That's true.
The word's already
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty much management. You got people that are already in the body. We're assuming that they're believers, so that's where we get fed and we grow. But then there's the aspect where we have to evangelize, and we're hoping to get people saved. And you don't do that. People don't willingly walk in through the doors of a church and darken its doors. So we have to go out and grab people.
yeah, exactly. We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
And now there is it seems to be a growing, and maybe it's just me that notice it's growing now, but maybe it's always been there, but there seems to be a huge Christian rock scene in San Antonio. What's that about?
I can tell you about that. Actually, a friend of ours, Roger Garza,
we know Roger, right? We know Roger.
Yes, but
he
yeah,
was in Becoming Sons for quite a while. I don't know if y'all did an interview with Becoming Sons, maybe.
I think we did, didn't we?
No, we Ryan is who we interviewed, the Garza for the Garza's. But
no. I know Ryan.
So that's
Garza,
Reborn.
but that's a different Garza. But yeah, Roger, I've heard his name.
Yes, we've tried to contact Roger, and Roger is very busy. So
yeah,
we have tried to get Roger on, but it hasn't worked out yet.
He is a very busy guy. He likes having his hands in all sorts of projects. He's definitely a businessman, really smart guy. And he really wanted to do something. There was all these Christian bands in San Antonio, and there wasn't a lot of exposure for that. So we all got together, put our heads together, and we put something together called Sound for the Crown. We did that 2 years.
Yeah, that's where I found you guys, the last one. We actually stringed it here. And,
yeah.
In
awesome.
Sacramento here. And that's how we found all the bands, Saving Jackie, Reborn.
Right.
And so
it definitely opened up a giant treasure chest of bands for us to talk to. Was Sound for the Crown, because it wasn't just Sound for the Crown bands though, because someone like, say, Vessel, who was following one of your bands, found us, and then we got to talk to them, and so that was really cool. Are you guys gonna? I ask this all the time, but is there any talk of another Sound for the Crown going on?
I'm not so sure about that.
Oh no.
My hopes are that they are. It may not, just depending. I don't really want to get into the personals of
no.
but Roger's moved recently. He's had a lot on his plate, and so I'm not sure. Like, it's just something, a matter of we may need to just get back together and get in contact and just see what we're planning up. It's been different each year. The first year it was we went and traveled, and there were 5 places we were going, including Corpus, Harris. We didn't make it to Seguin, but we made it to Poteet, Texas. And then this year it was more like a festival where multiple bands came to the same location over 2 days.
Oh, okay. All right. So it started out kind of like Seventh Day Slumbers thing, right?
Yeah.
Tour, like a tour.
Yeah, like a tour, and then it became a one spot, one date festival.
Yeah, and it just changes with the needs of like whether people can be traveling. And a lot of that, when we first did it the first year, COVID had just become a thing, and we were actually going to get stuck in Corpus because people were talking about how the streets were going to be closed. And then we actually made our way back. This year with COVID, we had to just keep in mind the restrictions, and there was a lot of limitations on how many people can be in a venue at a time. So we had to find a location that had the space for everybody, and it was outdoors.
Well, we've said it many times. If there's another Sound for the Crown, Aaron and I want to make the trek out to San Antonio and be a part of it.
Well, I'll let Roger know that he might get a fire under his britches and get another one going.
Well, we've talked to Caleb quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Caleb Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who helped put on Sound for the Crown.
Yeah, Aaron and I have already like mapped out the road trip. If you guys say Sound for the Crown is on, we were there. We're there.
Well, if there's not a Sound for the Crown, I'm sure we could put something else together too as well.
Hey, you guys put anything together like that? I want to come out and I want to MC. If you guys are so generous, I would love to come out and MC it.
All right.
Not to mention I want to interview bands and stuff. That's one of my favorite things to do. Anyhow, enough about me. It's all about you. You guys got a song. Are we going to do the song here, Aaron?
Yeah.
I keep fading back. It might be a problem with mine.
Okay.
I
don't know.
Anyhow, it's called This Side of Heaven, right?
Right.
Tell me a little bit about the song before we kick it into it.
So that song, the inspiration on that, there's just a lot of things that I write that come out of just emotional places in my life, and a lot of it comes out as though it's a prayer. It's just after I pray through and work through things with God, and I'm thinking about the people around me, and I'm thinking about society around me and the things that people struggle with, and I'm always trying to shed some light, some hope that comes from the word. For this particular song, This Side of Heaven, it talks a lot about understanding my limitations as a man, that there might be things that people expect of us, that they have hopes for us, but we do fail because we're all sinners and we make mistakes. And sometimes even when we have the best intentions, we can't be that thing that every person needs. So in the song, we point to the hope of Christ. We say that it's not me you need, but it's Jesus. He's the answer.
Exactly. Well, I equate people to a toolbox. Okay. It's a toolbox. And, I might be a hammer and Aaron's a screwdriver, and you're not going to pick up the hammer to try to unscrew a screw. You're going to go grab the screwdriver because the hammer's just not going to work for you. Right. But, I don't know, back in the 90s or something, there was one of those as seen on TV things where there was this ratchet that did like all these different things, and you only needed one tool. That's Jesus, right? Yeah. You getting my analogy here? All right. Yeah. There you go. You still need the toolbox. You still need all of those different tools. But
it talks about how each one of us are a necessary part of the body of Christ. But if you think about that, that's different distributions of the gifts that God gives, and Jesus in it himself is the fullness of God's attributes. That's why he's the multi-tool, and we're just little aspects of that tool.
Right. Right. I would be like the tiny little screwdriver, the one that you got to work on the computer with, the little microscopic one. So we're going to do This Side of Heaven, right, Aaron? All right.
Yes, we are.
We're going to kick into that, Jaron, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. It's This Side of Heaven. It's Stop the Sun on the Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience.